guys been to the grocery store lately? Look at that, $7.49 a pound. Do you know that is more than the minimum wage?
Hey, real quick, I know we're all focused on the price of eggs, but we need to have a discussion about the beef. I don't mean the beef that you have with Samantha from 5th grade. I'm talking about the price of actual cattle. We've been so focused on the price of eggs, I don't think anybody's paying attention to the rising cost of beef. That means all of our ground beef, burgers, like carnes, asada, I don't even know if I said that right, but all of those things are going up. Y'all so focused on the eggs. Can we please talk about the beef?
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So I've been seeing a lot of people make videos about the cost of living, and specifically a lot of people's worries have really been on the grocery price now. People have been complaining about meat prices, a lot of other things, and they realize that the prices are really becoming extreme, especially when you go to the grocery store. You know, these are things that people need. You need to buy food, and then it's something that we're collectively having to experience. And even I think the last time I went to the grocery store, in my mind when I was looking at the total, I was just like, damn. Like honestly, the cashier was just busy like, like pay up, like, but I'm just in there in my mind thinking like, what the hell? Like, what did I even buy? Like, you look at your card and you're wondering how it's accumulated to that much. But honestly, it adds up. Like just little stuff that you buy, and then you start wondering like, even with the meat prices, like things are just like crazy. I'm like, oh, if you even decide to even eat beef, it's like you're treating yourself like some 5-star. It's so expensive. A lot of people are complaining about this, but before we get right into this video and check it out, please make sure you click the like button. It helps the algorithm and I appreciate that so much, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. Let's get right into this video.
Have you been to the grocery store? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I go just about every day and I'm in shock because everything seems to have gotten more expensive, except for the price of eggs have come down. But everything else is crazy. I mean, since when did chips become $8? $8 for... I looked at the Doritos. I went, $8 for Doritos? Who's doing that, by the way? Yeah, I have no interest in buying chips right now. Chips are basically the same price per pound as steak. When did that happen? But it just seems to be endless. And now you go and you take a $100 bill and it buys nothing. A $100 bill? Oh my God, I can remember when I could come home with the whole thing of groceries for $100. Right now, for $100, you're not getting much of anything. Is it like that where you are? Because the prices just seem to be going crazy. $8 for Doritos? Come on.
All right, you animals, I'm going to teach you how to go grocery shopping on a budget. Let's do this. First of all, stop shopping at Whole Foods. Stop shopping at all the fancy places, especially since Whole Foods was bought by Amazon. That place sucks anyway. The produce is always bad. Find a bargain. So we're going to fucking Aldi. Shit, I forgot a quarter. I need a quarter. Damn it. We're ready. So to shop effectively, you need to break it down into 3 categories: produce, meat, starch. Let's start with the meats. The trick is to buy the big shit. Stop buying pre-cut steaks. You want to buy stuff like this. Look, this is a chuck roast. This is way cheaper than the other beef, and you can break this down into steaks, tenderloins, stew meat. I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is $6 a pound versus this is $13 a pound, okay? And the difference is not that drastic. Same thing with ground beef, all right? The higher the fat content, the cheaper it's gonna be. But if you render this out and drain the fat, then it's not gonna be as fatty. So we're getting the bulk, $85.15. It is $5 a pound. Now, if you get the leaner one, $96.4, this is gonna cost you $7 a pound. That's the difference. You save money in the little stuff. This chicken's $3.49 a pound. What we're gonna do is get the whole chicken, because it's $1.50 a pound. I've showed you how to do this on my TikTok already. Now let's get our produce, our fresh veggies. The trick with this one is we're buying bulk, okay? Get the bag of onions and keep them in a dark place to last you for a while. Whole bag of potatoes, $3.50. Bag of apples, $4. $4. You see what I'm saying? Buy it in bulk, damn it. Go to Costco, go to BJ's, get the big bag of shit. Bag of spinach, $1.50. With the spinach, the trick is, I know it goes bad really fast. If you're not going to use it, throw it in the freezer and you can use it for smoothies. Bag of spinach. Also looking for deals. If you see a deal in the store, just get it. 2 for $1, try it out. There's plenty of recipes you can mess with to make different things. And see things like this, the pre-sliced fruit. Don't waste your money on this stuff. They mark it up. This is more expensive than buying an entire watermelon, and it's like 8 slices of watermelon. Don't buy this shit. See how big those are? It's $4.50. If you buy the pre-sliced one is $4 itself. Same with these pre-made salads are trash. They're garbage. They're always wilted and gross. They're way too expensive. It's $3, and you can buy the ingredients to make a salad for less than that. Don't buy pre-shredded cheese either. This is way more expensive than buying a block of cheese. If you buy the block, it's cheaper. Also, did you know that in every bag of shredded cheese, they put a chemical in there to keep it from coagulating so that the cheese doesn't melt in the bag? If you want meltier cheese, that ooey gooey shit, you need to shred it yourself. I believe in making your own stock at home, but it's always good to have a backup. So get yourself some chicken broth, some veggie broth, and some beef broth. These are $1.95 a piece, and you can do a lot with broths. So make sure you have broths in your fridge. Get a giant bag of rice. I can't stress this enough. And always buy parboiled. What that means is it's already been cooked a little bit, so it's not as starchy, and it'll cook faster. And if you're buying these, the 90-second things, they're full of weird shit, and they don't taste as good, and they cost way more money. Buy a big bag. This will last you for a very long time, and this is $3.50. As far as snacky poos go, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna gatekeep this one. I'd be lying if I'm not gonna get some peanut butter pretzels, because I want some peanut butter pretzels. So, is it in the budget? No, shut up. And one of my favorite cheat meals is all these original thin pizzas. These are ridiculously good, and they're like $3 a pop, so leave me alone. $139, and I got enough food to feed my entire family for at least 8 days. So if you buy things the right way and you stop shopping at shitty places like Whole Foods where they jack up all the prices, it's no better than this. I promise you, as a chef, the produce at Whole Foods these days is terrible. So find yourself an Aldi, a BJ's, a Costco. Look, $139. This is how you do it, everybody. Pay attention. Learn how to shop and save money while doing it. That's the recession chef.
Have you guys been to the grocery store lately? Look at that. $7.49 a pound. Do you know that is more than the minimum wage for hamburger meat? Get the cheap one, $6.29 a pound, $6.99. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this for steak, $9.49, and this is flank. $5 for a bag of cookies. Look at that. $6.99 for chips. Look at that. You know what I'm noticing as well? Is everyone is looking at the prices. They're moving the tag and looking at the prices. There's people here just picking up like their one meal after work. What happened to lower groceries on day one? What happened to America first? Because so far, by my count, not only has he not done anything for America, lowering prices, he has raised taxes, raised the national debt, caused so much grief, and now you have tariffs. Drop your comments below.
We all know that we're going to have to start fighting back soon, right? Because I just spent $100 at Trader Joe's. And let me tell you what I got for $100. Not even enough food to fill the fridge. Not enough food to fill the fridge. Want to see? That's not full. That's not even enough food for the week. That's not a week's worth of groceries, right? I got a salad for lunch today. I got frozen peas. I got cat treats. I got a chimichurri sauce. I got steak tips, the cheapest red meat they had. I got chips. I got ground chicken. I got chicken breast. I got a package of blueberries. I got a package of raspberries. I got a thing of seasoned chickpeas. I got 4 cans of tuna. Just kidding. 3 cans of tuna. 3-pack of bell peppers. I got 1 single cucumber. I got a bag of arugula. I got a single red onion. I got 2 sweet potatoes. I got 5 lemons. And let me tell you, all of that is $103.93. It's not, we can't keep doing this. Like, People cannot keep doing this. We're gonna have to start fighting back. And I know that might be scary. I know that might be, but like, they're just gonna keep raising prices on us until we do something to make them stop. So you want to chat about it, talk strategy, hit me up.
Honestly, these days I've been reconsidering the meat and protein that I actually take. A few weeks back, I went to look for oxtails and I was like, oh, I just crave oxtail and I want to make it myself. I went there and I was like, what? Maybe some stew that with some ribs, and that's not cheap either. Like, a lot of stuff are just expensive, like really, really ridiculously high. And I'm just thinking these days, maybe I should start substituting those things with tofu. Maybe I don't need much protein. I could actually be a vegetarian at this point, like really. That's how expensive it is. You'll be thinking we're complaining too much, like when you're talking about all this whole grocery situation. But honestly, it adds up. Like any little thing you take, they start adding everything up. You notice that the price, like you're left, maybe you're about to pay like $200.
Here's my hot take on groceries. If you're trying to save money on groceries, you need to buy ingredients. Listen, I was raised poor. So was my husband. When we first got married, we were broke. And we were both raised in ingredient households, and we created an ingredient household because that is how you save money. Junk food, convenience food, ready to eat food is expensive. You got to buy ingredients and learn how to cook them. I know that there's a knowledge gap there for a lot of people. There's a ton of content on this site and others. I make some content. I'm going to focus on this type of content for a while now because it is clearly something that is needed. And that is what I am trying to do here, is to share and educate. So I will be making content on how I save money on groceries and how you can save money on groceries, how to make quick and easy meals, cooking basics, that type of thing. So follow along if you're interested and let me know your hot take on groceries.
I just spent $197 at the grocery store, and I don't even know what I bought. I walked in for eggs, milk, and maybe a treat if I was feeling wild. I walked out with financial trauma and a receipt that looks like a CVS scroll of shame. Break it down. $6.49 for a dozen eggs that I have to handle like I'm smuggling Fabergés. Milk, $4.29 for a jug of future regret because I know I'm going to forget it's in the fridge until it's chunky. Bread, why is it $5.79 now? What part of this loaf is artisanal? It's white bread. It has one job. And don't get me started on produce. I grabbed 3 apples and the self-checkout told me that'll be $8.12. I didn't buy heirloom jewelry. I brought fruit. Why are bell peppers sold like they're concert tickets? Oh, sorry. The red one is premium seating. And then I made the mistake of walking down the snack aisle. One bag of chips, $4.79, and 85% of it is air. Honestly, the most affordable part of the experience. Want a frozen pizza? That'll be $9.99 for the privilege of disappointment in a circle. So yeah, $197 later, I'm home with 3 bags of groceries, a new fear of inflation, and a carton of milk that expires tomorrow. The only thing that was free was my sadness, and I bagged that one myself. Tag someone who needs to start a garden with me because we can't live like this.
Walmart has announced it will increase prices nationwide despite record profits the last several quarters. So this one is a really hard hit to the economy, especially for the people that are at the income level where Walmart is probably the best price point in order to get groceries and basic household items. So as we all know, the inflation has been really rough the last several years. One of the biggest hits to everyday people is that grocery prices have about tripled in the span of the last 3 or 4 years. And this is not going to help anybody. It kind of makes me wonder, like, at what point do they realize, like, people are just not going to be able to do it, guys? Because it's just like, it's already so hard to make it that you have 30 and 40-year-olds still living with their parents because they cannot afford to buy a house in this economy. And so you've got people working a regular full-time job. You've got people doing gig economy work like Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats. They're doing house sitting, dog sitting. They're working on Fiverr and Upwork just to be able to try to put some money together to be able to pay for things like pay some debt down, pay some bills down. And at some point, it's just going to crack for basic average people that are just trying to like go work a 40-hour workday and come home to their couple of kids like the average American family and just make it. And that's even with both parents working full time now, not like, 60s where you can go back and you only got one person working at a factory job and it pays for a house and a spouse and a couple of kids and everybody can just do it. So I think this is a really bad look for Walmart. I know that both Target and Aldi have announced this year that they're going to do everything they can to actually decrease prices on a number of basic items. And so I think this is going to create a bigger gap. Aldi's already cheaper groceries than Walmart is. Even their great value brand, because Aldi's all their store brand. But for the other basic necessities that you can't get at something like Aldi, you'll have to continue to go to Walmart, or, you know, Target might come a little bit closer in line. Now, Target's a much nicer store to me than Walmart is, just to be able to do your basic necessities. But let me know what you guys think of this and how they expect people to keep paying for stuff, especially the people in our society that are already struggling with the gas prices, the grocery prices. And Walmart doesn't need to do this. They're already one of the most profitable companies in all of the United States. So there's no reason for this for me. I know it makes the stockholders happy, but you're just crushing regular people. So let me know your thoughts.
If you think feeding your family is expensive now, just wait. So ground beef just hit its highest price ever in American history. The thing that most of us rely on for burgers, tacos, and spaghetti night, it's becoming a luxury. And it's not stopping here. The experts say that the prices are going to keep on going up and up. Why? Well, it's a couple of things. You got a mix of drought, high feed costs, reduced cattle supply, and corporate consolidation. That means fewer options, higher prices, and families having to make more tough decisions at the grocery store. Even basic meals are turning into a budget challenge. And remember, this is not just about beef. This is about the cost of living. It's another reminder that the average family is being priced out of normalcy. You're not crazy for noticing everything feels harder lately, because it is. And what's being done about it? Not much. Big corporations are raking in profits while you're deciding between milk and meat for the week. So next time you hear someone say the economy is doing great, I want you to ask yourself something. Great for who? Because it damn sure ain't the family that's trying to make tacos stretch for a week.
What do you mean grocery prices are going up again? Well, the tariffs that were put on hold, they go into full effect August 1st. My hamburger is already 6% more expensive than it was last year. Some places it's as high as 17. And now they're adding more tariffs? Yeah, and a recent survey of CFOs found that most companies impacted by the tariffs are covering the cost by just increasing prices, an average of 6.6%. Did you know that the average American is already spending 20 to 30% more for a barbecue this year than just a few summers ago? You can add the Trump tariffs to the cost of your barbecue next year too. Well, at least shrimp comes from New England. Oh, no, actually 90% of shrimp comes from Asia.
The price of 1 pound of ground beef is now higher than the federal minimum hourly wage. Are we great yet?
You hard-working MAGA chuds out there putting in all that OT. I had a question for you. So it's been about a month now since Donnie's big bullshit bill passed, and I needed to know, are your first paychecks coming out of that fatter? Because you were promised no tax on overtime, right? That was in the bill, you guys swear. It's in the bill, first page of the bill. But they're not fatter, are they? Because that's not what you got. What you got was a bullshit tax deduction that was capped at like 12 fucking K and expires in 2 years. Meanwhile, what did the fucking billionaires and corporations get? Giant fucking tax breaks that are permanent. See, what did he do? He threw you this bullshit idea of no tax on tips overtime to get you this. He's really fighting for the working class. But it was just bullshit, because this doesn't help you in the day-to-day, does it? This doesn't help you get by through the year. And a fucking $12,000 deduction? Maybe you figure out now that the billionaires don't have your best interest at heart, and putting one in the fucking White House probably wasn't the best idea. You need to start looking at progressive candidates that will stand up to the billionaires and the fucking corporations. Anybody that doesn't take PAC money and is actually going to do things to help the working class in this country. Get money out of politics, tax the fucking rich, and stand up to the fucking oligarchs.
Is anyone else noticing their grocery bill going up a lot? Because I shop at Sprouts 90% of the time. And I used to spend about $100 for 2 bags of groceries. That would probably be roughly 2 to 3 days worth of food for me and my family. And that's gone from $100 to like $140, $150 now. And that's a big jump. I mean, I know tariffs and everything going into effect, prices are supposed to rise, but that's a lot. That's like a 50% increase in the span of, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months. Just wondering if anyone else is noticing that. And by the way, how are people affording this? Like, if you're someone who needs to be on a strict grocery budget every month, like, how do you account for that? That's a huge price increase. It's crazy.
I just spent $100 and it's just me and my husband. I'm like, how are people affording to feed their kids and their family? Oh my God. I spent $100 in just this. This is not a law for $100. It's so crazy how everything's just so expensive now. Oh my God. And I don't even have kids yet.
Now you go from maybe eating 2 square meals, having to eat 1 square meals, and those who even do 3 square meals are actually cutting it down to 2 square meals, where they try to make sure that they always skip eating breakfast, because breakfast is maybe more easy for a lot of people to actually skip, but not for me though, actually. Like, I can skip anything else, I can skip lunch, I can skip dinner, but like breakfast, it's something that I actually prioritize so much. So, but I mean, people are cutting back on all those things. When you think, oh, things are expensive, maybe I should just go and buy something healthy, let me just go buy some fruits, let me buy some vegetables and do this and that, that's still going to be a lot. I do know that some people are actually very good, like pretty good and skilled when it comes to like shopping for groceries and finding a way to make it cheaper. But I really wish you guys would teach me, because honestly, I need that. I actually need that, because I'm like, I've been wondering sometimes. I even get to the point, I used to never really care about looking at people's cards, like to see what they're doing and what they're buying. I've been looking at people's carts these days and I'll be like, what are they buying? But then sometimes I see people who are on food stamps and their carts are filled up, and it's like, well, we're not on the same level. Apparently you're richer than me, because I'm broke. Like, look at my cart, it's almost empty. I have nothing in it. But if anybody have any tips or anything that they can share on how to actually make these groceries more affordable, where we can actually manage to survive in this situation, because I don't even know if we saying, can you bring the prices down, they're not going to change it. Like, apparently things are just going to keep going up, and it's like it doesn't come down. So it's kind of tiring at this point. I don't know for how long we're going to keep trying to cope and adjust to every toxic, difficult situation that is going on. And the fact that a lot of people are actually sitting down with the hope that maybe government will actually change things, maybe they will help everybody, help the economy, and things will be better, things will actually improve. But it's like every single day we're walking into things becoming worse than it was before. Like, everything is just becoming worse each and every day. Like, even following up on the news can get very depressing at some points, because it's like, when is there ever going to be some good news or something actually good happening? It's always something bad. It is absolutely draining. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. And subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time, and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.